What's going on, guys? This is Mike with Chit Chat Gaming. I have on the official MLB gear. It is March, it's springtime. What's that mean? That means it is almost officially baseball season. Spring training has begun, which means that we are about due for some new baseball games. Now today I want to talk about RBI Baseball 2018, but before I do that here, I want to give a big shout out to RBI Game for providing me once again with a review copy of their newest title, RBI Baseball 2018. Another thing I want to go ahead and mention too is that I am not comparing this to the show by any means, so if that's the video you're looking for, it's not going to be here because these are two different style of games. The only similarity that they have in common is that they're both baseball games. So with that being said, with that out of the way, last year I was lucky enough to get a copy of RBI Baseball 2017 for the Nintendo Switch. Now this game itself will be releasing next month in April for the Switch and for Android devices. Right now it's currently available for the Xbox One and for the PS4. It will be available next week for iOS devices, which is basically tablets and cell phones, etc., or iPads. So right now though, this game, like I said, is currently available for the Xbox One, the PS4. I'm currently reviewing the Xbox One X version of this game. It does run $29.99, so $30 here in North America. I was indeed notified prior to getting this copy that there are some minor glitches and minor bugs that's going on with the Xbox One X version of this game. It did not affect my gameplay by any means, so they did also say they're going to be releasing a patch here in the near future to basically take care of those. But once again though, I did not notice anything major that is different than what you're actually going to experience in the game itself anyways, compared to the Xbox One X or the S. So with that being said though, I just want to go over a couple of new features that's available now in RBI Baseball 2018 here. Some definitely new features I've checked out here is something new is franchise mode. Basically this allows you to trade, sign free agents, call up rookies, etc. It is new to the RBI game. They never had this before in previous years. They've always had the postseason mode, which is basically brackets and such here. That's available once again this season as well too. But this franchise mode, I have not had a chance to really dig into it to a whole lot. I do plan on doing that here very, very soon to kind of check it out. I believe it is like a few months that basically you can do this, or a few seasons anyways. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how this will go and how it plays out for the most part here too. Some other things that they got going on here too. And another new feature is the home run derby. It's something that's always been asked for by this game here. Obviously other competition has had this game in the past, or had this mode, sorry, in the past. Basically this home run derby though allows you to go head to head or against a computer AI as well too. Basically what you're doing is you're reviving last year's home run derby. So what's basically going on here is that you're literally playing last year's derby. You're using the same players and everything that was actually competed in that derby itself. So you can't just go and choose your own players. You actually have to utilize the players that were involved with that derby itself. So with that being said though, it is still a lot of fun. It's something new to the game. Again, that'll be nice to be able to go in and select other players and such as well too, not just the ones that are involved in that actual year. But I do understand what they're doing. They're basically allowing you to reenact or recreate that actual home run derby from 2017, which was last year, I believe it was here. Another thing here too is that some other great new features they have redesigned player models. Compared to the years before, the models definitely look a lot better. Again, they don't really have face scans and such. I mean, they might have done some on some of the major players and such, but for the most part, though, they still look pretty generic. But it's definitely a step forward from what it was previously in the past here, especially going back to like 2014 and 2015. So that's a definite plus here. New dynamic camera angles, so you can definitely tell within the game here they're actually providing with some new angles. It's not always the top down. They've done a good job with the camera angles. Another big thing too, there's new animation that's involved. Like when you hit a home run, it's not just a basic little, you hit a home run, it shows a top down look or kind of generic. You actually get a nice little animation, or like a specific animation I should say, or you're going to get a nice little cutscene. It's the only thing I can say about that is that the only flaw is that it's used over and over again. It's like the same thing. So if you're familiar with like older games and such, you're going to see that being reused a lot. There's some different, just like I said, some specific animations that's involved, but for the most part though, it's usually the same animation over and over again when you hit a home run. There's some other ones as well too, but again though, it's a step forward because before it was basically just one shot the whole time. You didn't get to see any kind of animations. Now, another thing too is that there's some ballpark improvement, which I could easily tell by looking at the game itself versus last year anyways. The ballparks do look a little bit better. They're 3D rendered as far as the crowd goes as well too. They enhance the lighting and the textures, which I can definitely tell. The crowd, my only complaint about the crowd is it still looks very generic. It's literally like copy and paste. So they might be able to do a better job in that, like WWE, 2K18 stuff does. The crowd definitely looks a little more realistic than this looks here, or even the show. Definitely looks a little different. But again, though, they are taking the right step forward, I guess I should say. Another complaint, though, that I want to talk about is the dugout area. I don't like how I look over the dugout area, or I see over the dugout area. There's literally no players sitting over there, or no coaches, or anything involved. It's kind of weird, or umpires and such. But it kind of brings that more realization, to the actual game itself. Makes you feel a little bit more into the game. So that's definitely something, if I'm making a suggestion, that I'd like to see in the near future here. They have legends available in the game too, over 100 in the franchise mode that you can utilize. So that's something pretty cool too. Another thing I did notice right off the bat was the actual UI, user interface. The menus do look a lot better. They definitely move around a lot faster. They're a little more modern, not so generic looking. The soundtrack itself looks a lot better, or sounds a lot better as well too. There's several different songs going on, and some more upbeat songs, not just some generic music and everything here for the soundtrack itself. So they definitely done a good job on that. And as always, of course, they do have roster updates, so you can go ahead and update the roster to the most recent. So that's always cool, and you can do that throughout the whole entire season as well too. And as long as you own the game, I'm still updating my 2017 version on the Switch. Now, speaking of the Switch version, like I said, I got a chance to review that version itself. And I actually did like that, because the fact that you could take it and with you to go. Now, there is an online multiplayer mode as well too, where you can go on here, you can play with your friends, or you can get matched against other players based on your rank as well too. I have not had a chance to mess around with the online much here. I did play a little bit of it. There was some lag issues, but nothing horrible like previous years, so I'm definitely happy to see that. Hopefully we get it on the Switch version as well too. Now, one thing I can definitely complain about the most is the load times. The load times on this game have been awful. I mean, I'm talking Just Cause 3 original load times. They're pretty awful. They're long, they're boring, they're there. Hopefully with some patches and such, they can kind of remove that as well too. So let's keep hoping on that. Once again, though, this game will be available on mobile here at some point here starting next week. So they are going to be releasing a mobile home run derby, where basically you can just play the home run derby as well too on mobile devices. Then, of course, they do have something else coming out too, which I think is kind of cool. It's basically the home run derby VR, so you'll be able to use like the Vive and all that too, the Oculus Rift, and I believe like the PlayStation VR as well too, to be able to actually play home run derby in VR. So I'm definitely interested in taking a look at that when it comes out. Now, just to be 100% honest with you, again, though, this is my opinion. It doesn't matter if I got this game as a review copy or not. This is my personal opinion on it. I do plan on picking up the Switch version at some point, like I mentioned, to take a look at it. But if you're to ask me, this game has improved versus last year, but there is some bugs here and there as well too that kind of make it, again, it's still enjoyable. I don't want to say unenjoyable, but it does make it a little bit, hard to play and stuff. There is some frame rate issues as well too. But in the fielding is a little bit clunky, but it's not horrible. It's definitely a step forward versus last year, and definitely a step forward to the prior years before that. So if you're looking for a nice little baseball game, because let's be honest, you don't have one on Xbox. RBI is the only baseball game on the Xbox, unless you're talking about the, I can't remember, I always have a brain fart, the cartoony one here. I do have it as well too. But again, though, as an actual real authentic MLB game, this is what you're going to get for the Xbox One. That's just all there is right now. There's no other licensed one out there. You have on the show and such on the PS4. So they have that over there. Then, of course, on the Switch itself, it's the only baseball game you're going to get on there for right now. Now, for me personally, I'm used to the old RBI style baseball games, King Griffey Jr. games, the Frank Thomas's Big Hurt, Slugfest. I'm used to those games, but in this modern day of age and such, and in this era, it's cool to still play, but you can't leave it like that forever. And I do see where RBI is trying to take that to go, kind of trying to go more towards the way that the show is with the presentation and such. And that's definitely something they need to do. I'm not saying they need to be exactly like them, because I know, like I said, they're two different styles, but going in that direction is definitely the best thing they can do. But I will say this right now, that this is definitely a step forward versus last year's, and last year's was not horrible, but like I said though, with the improvements and such here, as long as they keep on going with it, they're going the right direction. So if you're going to ask me to rate this game, I'd probably get it a 7 out of 10. It is fun to play. I've had a lot of fun playing it here, but like I mentioned, there is some things that definitely could be improved, as always with every game. But hopefully, like I said though, they will take care of that here. And the patch on the Xbox One, I will definitely take a look at that once that becomes available. But again though, I have not noticed anything major that's going to affect my gameplay, so the score will probably stay the same. Basically, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I definitely say to pick it up if you're looking for a baseball game for the Xbox, because that's all you're going to get. And when this game releases in April for the Switch, definitely worth taking a look here. At the $30 price, it is kind of steep for this game. I mean, it's not a horrible price, but I remember before it was $19.99, which sounds about realistic for this title. But again though, $30 is not bad. And again, you're getting a fun baseball experience as well too, with authentic MLB players. So let me know in the comment section down below, guys, what you guys think of this game or prior years. Have you picked this one up yet? Are you planning on picking it up? What is your honest opinion on it here as well too? Would you recommend it? So once again though, guys, this has been Mike with Chit Chat Gaming, and as always, happy gaming and play ball.